Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can modify your stock Polo and Vento cabin light to a Passat style cabin light. So these are all the parts which are required to get this job done. You'll need a 12 volt battery, a drill machine, a solder, the light itself. These are the W5W connectors, or you can say T10 bulbs, some T10 bulbs. You will need some resistors, like this is 570 ohm and 560 ohm resistor, and these are half watt. This is white LED, this is red LED, and these are the holders for the LED, and you'll need some wire. I have ordered two LEDs. This is a red LED and this is a white LED, but this longer one is a 3 volt LED and this is a 2.1 volt LED. So you cannot directly hook it up to a 12 volt battery. For that you'll need some resistors. So this is a 560 ohm resistance, and I have tested the resistance ranging from 100 ohms to 1k, and on a 12 volt battery the amount of light that I was getting from this resistance only. If you'll go down to 100 or 200, the light is going to be very bright, which is going to irritate you inside the cabin, and if you go towards 1k, then it's going to be very dim. So according to me, a 560 to 650 ohm resistor is the perfect spot. And if you want your light to be more brighter, then you can use a low resistor, for example 200 ohms, 300 ohms. And if you want your light to be more dim, then you can use 800, 900, 1k, above 1k. But if you're using a low resistance, then make sure the resistance is above 1.5 watt or 2 watt. For example, this is a 560 to 570 ohm resistor. So for that you'll need a half watt resistance, and this is a half watt resistance, because a 560 ohms on 12 volt battery is going to consume around 25 watts of current. So for that, this resistance is perfect for me, as I have tested it in the car. So now I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. You see this area and this area. I'm going to drill a hole here and here. So the T10 bulbs are going to come here. So now this setup will become like a 3 bulb setup. I'm not going to install the LEDs as I don't like the LED inside the cabin. I think it's just too harsh on the eyes. So one T10 bulb here and one T10 bulb here, like you see here and here. I'm going to drill a 5 mm hole, and I'm going to install the small red LEDs inside this with the resistance, so it will act like the ambient light. So I'm also going to install this switch. So this switch has a red LED inside it, and this switch is going to control the two T10 bulbs that we're going to install. And my plan is to install this switch at this very position. I also wanted to install this switch right here, so I can control this bulb and this bulb separately. But if you'll see around, you can see there is the socket, so I cannot install another switch right here. So I'm going to install one ambient light here, one here, and at this very position I'm going to install this switch. So this should look nice. So I have drilled the holes for T10 bulbs, and to me that actually looks OEM. You can see. So the T10 bulbs are going to come here, and I have used this file to actually just you put this inside this hole and start rotating it, so just to make the perfect hole. And this is how it looks. Now I'm going to show you how it looks with the T10 bulbs installed. So I have installed these T10 bulbs, and to me this looks OEM. You can see this looks like this has come straight from the factory itself. You can let me show it from the back side. You can see this looks like a factory work. So this is done very neatly. So now I'm going to drill a 5 mm hole right here and right here for the ambient light. Now you can see I have made holes for the ambient light, and they are pretty flat. I have just used a file to flatten this, and you can see it from behind. Now time for the switch. So one tip that I want to give you, you should know the length, breadth and the diameter of the circle that you want to drill. For that I am using a compass and a scale. So you can see I have marked the hole for the switch, and I have used a compass for this. Make sure you use the compass, otherwise this is going to look very odd if it is even 0.5 or 0.1 left or right. So you can see I have made all the holes, and they all look pretty flat because I have filed them. So the next step is just to install the LEDs inside this and to do the wiring. So here I am doing a stress test. I have connected this LED with a 570 ohm and half volt resistance through a 12 volt battery, and it is running from around 4 hours and it is running fine. The resistance is not even warm, so this would work fine. You can see this small LED with a 570 ohm resistance is pretty bright, and if you're using it with a 100 ohm resistance, then this small LED can almost lit up a room. So these small LEDs are pretty bright, so make sure you use a resistance. So this is how I have connected the small LED light, which will act like an ambient light. You can see I have connected one resistor. This is positive and this is negative, and the same here. Now this LED light with this socket is going to go into this hole, this one and this one. So now I have installed all the LEDs. You can see this one and this one. So you can see I have used some hot glue to paste this, and it is not going to move anywhere. So now I'm going to tell you about the wiring of this LEDs. So when the company socket is going to plug in, the 12 volt connection going to come from here. So the 12 volt is taken from here, you can see from this wire, and this has one resistor, and same on the other side, and this is the negative wire. Now this negative wire is going to go into the 17th terminal of the headlight switch. So when you switch to parking lights, these will turn on like the stock. So guys, you can see I'm done with the wiring. You can see it doesn't look pretty neat, but it will work. So you can see this is the 12 volt connection. It is going into this common terminal, and then this terminal actually is for the LED of this switch. Then the 12 volt connection going into this resistance, then this resistance, and then into this pink wire you see is the positive of these T10 bulbs, and the rest of these wires is the negative. So these are all the negative or ground wires. These three wires you see, two of them are for the ambient light, one is for the LED of the switch, and this yellow wire is the ground for the T10 bulbs. So these three black wires are going to connect to the 17th terminal of the headlamp switch, and this yellow wire I'm going to ground it on chassis, so it will work. So when I'll press this switch, you see this switch, these two T10 bulbs will turn on. Now I'm not a professional electrician, but there are multiple ways to do this wiring. If you want with this stock switch all the lights should turn on, just solder the negative onto this terminal. And if you want when you open the door and all the three lights are on, then you have to connect it on this. So there are multiple possible ways, but this is how I have done. So now I'm going to show you with this battery how it is working. So this is how these lights look. You can see these looks really good, and on camera these are looking actually quite bright, but in reality these are very dim, so you won't even notice it if these are on. You can see this is all the wiring mess which I'm going to cover. So now I'll show you how this switch works. When I will turn on this switch, these two T10 bulbs will turn on. You see, you can see these are on and now off. So this looks perfect. I have used one of the chassis bolts for the ground. So now the installation is complete. Now I'm going to show you how these lights perform. You can see. Now look at my hand. Like I'll say it again, On camera these lights are looking very bright, but in reality they are very dim. Hardly you can notice it. And these lights has just uplifted the whole ambience inside the car. You can see. These looks real good. This mod is not limited to VW cars, it can be installed in any car. You can see, it looks so good. Now this switch, if I'll turn on this switch, both the T10 bulbs will be turned on. Like this, turned off. I have connected the ground to the chassis. So when I'll unlock the car, these lights will be turned on, and when I lock the car, these lights will be turned off. And if you want the lights to turn on with the parking light, then you just have to give the ground to the 17th terminal of the headlamp switch. Then it should work with the parking lights. But to me, this setup is more good. And I'll say it again, like on camera these lights are looking very bright, but in reality these are very dim. Like now I have reduced the exposure, so it is more close to the reality. You see my hand? In reality it is close to that. These lights just look perfect. You can see.